Hare Krishna. So, today we continue our discussion on the divine qualities described by Lord Krishna himself in Bhagavad-gītā, 16th chapter, verses 1 to 3. And we have discussed first part of tapas, austerity. And we will continue on this discussion. And we said that tapa is the first instruction in the universe ever given by Lord Krishna himself to Brahma. And is glorified actually very much in Srimad Bhagavatam. Again and again it is stressed that nothing can be achieved without tapa. Yes, but we should understand, we mentioned many times, and we will repeat it again and again, that these qualities within themselves are completely empty without bhakti. So we should understand that tapas in itself is useless, is empty without bhakti, as all other qualities. So bhakti is the essence, and even other processes like yoga or jnana or karma cannot be successful in itself for their own purpose without the blessing of bhakti. So therefore we can see that even Mayavadis and others, they chant the holy names also, but with desire to attain mukti, for example. So, yes, because without bhakti, even their own process is useless. They know this. But because they are offensive towards bhakti, they cannot achieve the goal of bhakti. And the goal of bhakti is Krishna Prema. Yes, we want love. We want absolute love, not partial love, actually. This is what people don't understand. They think, yes, I'm a good person, yes, I love my wife, my children, my neighbors, even if you're very pious, you love even your neighbors. And other people. But if you don't develop this absolute love, if you don't develop love for Krishna, your love has some limitations, isn't it? And therefore, when your love has some limits, therefore you don't love what is beyond these limits. And this is what is beyond these limits poses some threat to your existence, because you don't love it. It means that it's something not worthy of my love, or something that is not beneficial for me. Therefore, I don't love it. And therefore, I cannot be happy. Because if I'm threatened, how can I be happy? So, this is what is told by our acharyas, and even for example, there was just Easter recently, so it was told also taught by Lord Jesus himself that we should no one can be alive without dying. We have to die first to live, die to live, and also in this regard. Bhaktivinoda Thakur took this same word from Jesus, and then they were repeated also by Bhakti-tirtha Maharaj and other great souls. Yes, die to live. And what this actually means, die to live. We have discussed this tapa or austerity, and Lord Krishna explains different kinds of austerities. In the 17th chapter of Bhagavad-gītā, he states the austerities of the body, austerities of the speech, and austerity of the mind. And we mentioned Deva Dvija Guru Pragya Pujanam, that we should worship the Lord, those who have spiritual knowledge, the brahmanas, and of course spiritual master and our superiors that are our well-wishers. Yes, and what this worship actually means. This worship, I'm reminded of Saint Francis of Assisi. He was my Vartma Pradarshaka guru, I can say. He gave me enthusiasm for spiritual life. Yes, I took enthusiasm from him. So I'm ever grateful to his example. And one of his principles was the holy obedience. I don't know what is exact expression in English, but it conveys the same meaning, the holy obedience. Yes, to be completely obedient to your authority. Yes, and this is what is expressed by Trinada Pisunichana, Tarurivasa Krishna Ramani Namanatina Kirtanya Sadahari, by Lord Chaitanya. Of course, we have great reservations and disgust to obedience. Isn't it? Everyone is repelled by this word. I don't want to be obedient. I remember my Guru Maharaj explained when he was a young seeker of spiritual perfection, he ended up somehow or other in Vrindavan. And he lived with, or regularly visited, some great saint, completely unnoticed by majority. His name was Ghanshyam, and he was really very interesting personality. As a young boy of 17 or 16 or something like this, his family came to Vrindavan for pilgrimage, like it is usual for Indian families to come to different holy places for pilgrimage during their free time. For example, here in the West, we go on holiday on the seaside or somewhere to enjoy. But these pious people from India, they went to the holy places like Vrindavan Dham. But this Ghanshyam was so encharmed by Vrindavan that he didn't want to leave Vrindavan when his parents went away. So they were so angry at him that they disowned him and rejected him actually. And then he lived under a tree on the beach of Yamuna, on the bank of the Yamuna. And he wrote Radha in the sand of the river Yamuna every day and worshipped this name with all his heart. And then in the evening he eradicated this name that no one would step on it. And then the next day he wrote the name and he worshipped the name again, all day long practically. And once when he was writing the name, he felt something hard, and he removed the sand, and there were self-manifest deities of Radha, what was the name? Govinda, Gopijana Vallabha. Gopijana Vallabha, Radha Gopijana Vallabha, deities. And they are quite big deities, like this. He found it buried in the ground of the Yamuna. And then he worshipped these deities under the tree there, all day long, every day. And then some family let him stay with the deities in the hallway of their house. And in the cupboard where they usually held some brooms and such utensils, they emptied this cupboard that he could put his deities in the cupboard. And he always worshipped these deities. And then when my Guru Maharaj came to him for his association, he was extremely pleased when he came, and he said, "You are a special guest of Gopijana Vallabha, of Radha Gopijana Vallabha, and therefore my duty is to serve you." And he served him in every regard, and every day he gave him some rotis. And then other sadhus from Vrindavan once very angrily approached my Guru Maharaj and said, "Because of you, Ghanshyam hadn't eaten for 3 days." And he said, "How? Because of me?" Yes, he just received some rotis, someone brings him to some rotis, and everything he gives just to you. And then the next day he came later that Ghanshyam would already eat these rotis. And then when he appeared finally, Ghanshyam said, "Oh, you have finally come. Gopijana Vallabha have saved some rotis for you." And he said, I won't take this. This is for you. You don't have any other things to eat." No. Who told you this?" And he insisted that he must eat, that he must accept, that I'm just your servant. I'm your obedient. He always stressed, "I'm your obedient." And then once he was carrying a large bucket of water for bathing Radha Gopijana Vallabha. And he was very old, around 80 or something, and he hardly walked, and he really struggled with this bucket. And then my Guru Maharaj wanted to help him. He said, "I will take it, I'm young, I'm strong, you're struggling." And he said, no, and he didn't let go of this bucket, and tears started pouring down his cheeks. He said, "No, please don't take this service from me. This is my only life, service to Radha Gopijana Vallabha. Please don't take this from me." Yes, I'm your obedient. You have to enjoy. You're a guest of Radha Gopijana Vallabha. But I'm your servant. You must enjoy. I will serve you. Yes. And then when my Guru Maharaj told this story to Bhakti-tirtha Maharaj, then their pastime was that they called each other, "I'm your obedient." I'm your obedient. So this was my point. We should become your obedient. The obedient. Yes. As St. Francis of Assisi said, the holy obedience. Holy obedience. Because if we are obedient, it means we completely give up the false ego. Yes. As long as we try to protect our name, fame, or our position, or respect of others towards me, or that I'm right, you're wrong, that means that I want to protect my material existence, actually. And this And all my talk about spiritual life and love for Radha, Gopinath, is just superficial. It doesn't go deep, actually. As long as you don't have this mentality, I'm your obedient, I'm your servant. Dasa, dasa, no dasa. This is the meaning. Naham vipro narapatir napi vaishunar sadru naha varnina chagriha padir nova nastu etirva kintu prodhanikila paramananda purnamritabdir gopi pardu padakamalur dasa, dasa, no dasa. This is the only thing that Lord Chaitanya himself said actually about his identity. Yes, I'm not a sannyasi, I'm not a vipra, but he was both, we can say. He was born in Brahmana family and he was initiated sannyasi. But he didn't identify with this. And this is also instruction for us. This is also tapasya. This tapa, that we don't associate mentally with these different positions that we have. Yes, these are just external positions given for us to serve. This is only purpose that we have any position in this world, just to serve. Yes, if I'm a father or a mother or a guru, pujari or a street sweeper, whatever, this position is that I'm a servant in a certain position. Even if I'm a guru, even I'm a president of the United States of America, one who has the most power, we can say, in this world. But I'm given this position just to serve. And if I misunderstand my position and I want to protect my ideas, protect my will, protect anything, I misunderstand my position. Yes. Therefore, as long as I expect any respect, that people recognize me, that people give us some credit for our service, yes, because we can think, I'm serving in this mission for 40 years, or 20 years, or 5 years, whatever. And therefore, at least my word should be heard, isn't it? Yes. And that I'm at least regarded as a valuable member of some community because I'm giving my blood for it. Yes, but these are all expectations for some return. Actually, then our bhakti is not ahetuki, not without expectations. And as long as we don't have this ahetuki bhakti, we cannot be suprasidati. Savaipam samparo dharmo yato bhakti radokshare ahetuki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. We all want to be suprasidati. Prasidati means happy. Suprasidati means perfectly happy. We all want to be perfectly happy. This is our nature. We cannot live without it, actually. We are always seeking this perfect happiness. But without ahetuki bhakti, no position in this world can be perfect happiness. Yes. So as long as I demand or expect even if I don't say anything, if I expect it in the heart, I cannot be suprasidati. Yes. Therefore this tapas is extremely important, because tapas means I give up my ego. Yes. Also this brahmacharya, when explained, this bodily tapa is divadvija guru pragya pujanam shocham arjavam, and simplicity, arjavam, simplicity. This all means that I'm simple, I'm servant. Servant is simple, king is complicated. Yes, especially if he has not a servant mentality. Yes. Therefore, King Prataparudra was so dear to Lord Chaitanya because he was simple. He was sweeping the street in front of the cart of Lord Jagannath. Yes. Because he was simple. He took a position of a simple servant. And that was the only thing that convinced Lord Chaitanya to give him his darshan. Yes. To be obedient. Yes. This is simplicity. And brahmacharya also. You have faith in the word of acharyas. Yes, that this celibacy will save my life. Because if I'm attached to bodily pleasures, like sex, like food, like hot water. I mentioned this hot water because in the book Salted Bread, it was mentioned. Did any of you have read the Salted Bread? Yes. There were two young boys in what was, I forgot the name of their country, but it was Soviet Union. Yeah. And they became devotees, and once they were in some, we cannot call it temple, but in some program with other devotees, and in the morning they took shower. And when they first came to take shower, there was only cold water, and the hot water was switched off. And when the valve for hot water was, that was a sign, Maya. And he didn't know, this person who was writing a book, what Maya means. And he said, there's no hot water. And they said, just hurry up. Yes. So whatever bodily pleasures we expect, we try to be happy on material platform. Yes. And therefore these austerities are more difficult for women, it is explained usually. Therefore it is explained that women are more lusty than the men, because they expect or need more bodily comfort than men, usually. Of course, it's not absolute. There are always exceptions, but this is general rule. Therefore, it's the duty of Jai Shri Radha Gopinath ki Jai, Shri Gauranitai ki Jai, Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mai ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Pramanandi Hari Bol. Yes, so it's so important in our life. And therefore, I mentioned this differences between sexes. Therefore, it's the foremost duty of a husband to be very strong personality. Yes. If he's not, he cannot give proper protection to wife and children. And I haven't met any lady in my life that would like to have a weak husband. Is there any of you who would like to have a weak husband? No.
How do you define strong and weak?
Sorry?
How do you define that? Strong and weak?
Yes, most
mentally, emotionally.
In all regards.
Because there's also this patriarchy kind of idea still, like we need to dominate over someone, but that's not real human man's strength.
Prabhupada mentions that there should be some mental dispositions which should be observed. For example, there are natural that women are by nature weaker than men, and therefore by their nature they seek protection. They need protection. they're not happy without protection. And we can see that this is natural dynamics. Also, if a man and a woman comes together without any idea of being together as partners, but the natural flow of energy is that woman tries to be in some, especially if they're not in opposition to each other, to take shelter of a man. Yes. So, and it's in man's nature also to take care of women and children, of his wife and a child. And modern world is very unfortunate because they try to teach both sexes in the same spirit. So women are more and more masculine and men are more and more feminine. And that means that there are more and more, the men are more and more emotional and without any strong values in their life. They're not strong in their vows also. And if a wife sees that her husband is not very strong in his determination or very strong in his vows, she will not feel protected. Yes. She will be feeling uncomfort, actually. Yes, you wanted to say something.
Just to that point, I think also that this patriarchalic mentality is actually a sign then of weakness and a lack of knowledge. And if we have knowledge about the principles which are like in the Srimad Bhagavatam, for example, then you would not act in that way.
Yes, of course, this should be natural dynamics, as it is put that we should not demand respect, but we should command respect. That means that it's natural that someone respects you. Yes, so we shouldn't demand respect. If we demand respect, it means we are weak. We want to impose to others that we are, yes, we should be respected. But we should naturally invoke respect in others if we want respect. But of course, immediately when we want respect, it's a sign of weakness, actually. It's a sign of weakness. That means that we want something that we don't get. Yes. Why we want anything? Because we miss it. Isn't it? If someone offers me something that I don't miss, it's just a burden for me. I don't accept it. But if I miss something, then I'm very happy when I get it. Isn't it? So if I miss respect, then I want to have respect. Yes. And this is a sign. Immediately when I feel that I'm disrespected, it means that I want respect. And therefore this tapas is needed. We discussed these tapas. And then this, the next one is brahmacharyam ahimsa cha. Ahimsa. Not to be violent towards anything or anyone is very important. And how to achieve this? A complete ahimsa in this world is impossible, except if you're a devotee. Because even then, this ahimsa, this himsa that you perform, this violence, is service to Krishna. It's not from your false ego, but it's because you're a servant. Yes. Like we did reading yesterday here at Radhadesh. So it's a weeding day. So by weeding, you do much violence to other living entity. And it is not just these plants that you weed out, but also to the worms in the soil, and all you create havoc actually. But because it is done for Radha Gopinath, it's done as you're a servant. You're not responsible for your activities because you just act as a servant. Therefore, you're not violent. In this way, ahimsa can be possible in this world. Therefore, in other places, our acharyas put out in scriptures, nati himsa. Ati means excessive. Nati himsa, not excessive violence. Yes. Ahastani sahastana padani chatushpadam. Falguni tataramahatam jivo jivasya jivanam. This is a very dark world, that one living entity lives on the count of the other. Yes. Those without hands are prey of those with hands. Yes. And those without legs are prey of those with legs. Yes. So, therefore, every living entity lives on the account of some other living entity. Jivo jivasya jivanam. Therefore, nati himsa, not excessive violence. And this is profound. It's not just something superficial again. We should never be superficial in life. Therefore, we'll miss the essence if we are superficial. Nati himsa. If the king kills the criminal, this is nati himsa. Yes. We shouldn't be sentimental about it. Yes. King has to kill. He has to be trained in killing. He has to be trained killer. Yes. If he's not, then he's violent, because he cannot protect. This is his service. And therefore, for example, service of a father, especially to his sons after the age of 5, must be very strict with his sons. If he's not, he's violent. He abuses children. Yes, because they will be spoiled. Yes. And mothers cannot be expected to be strict too much, because they have to be loving. They have different role. They have to be loving. And father has to be strict. And if everyone is brought up in the same spirit, then everyone is strict and everyone is loving. And yes, I've seen many times, if mothers have to establish discipline, because this is not their position, not their duty, but if they have to, somehow or other, they become hysterical. Many times. And children suffer, and they suffer, because either there are no men, or the man doesn't perform his duty to be strict, to impose discipline, especially to children. So we should understand this is deep, nati himsa. It's not just that we don't kill animals and we don't eat animals, but that we perform our duty properly is also an act of non-violence. If our mission, for example, I'm speaking about parents because I'm a parent, because if our mission is not to make our children Krishna conscious, we are extremely violent. Yes, this is child abuse actually. Gururna sasyat, sajnona sasyat, pitana sasyat, janini sasyat, devam natatsyana patishcha sasyana mocheti aksamupyati mrityum. Lord Rishabhadeva explains this in 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. No one should become a guru, no one should become a husband or a father or mother if he cannot deliver those who depend on him from this world. Yes. So, if a husband is not strong and very fixed in devotional service, he cannot help his wife and children. So it's foremost responsibility if someone marries, especially for men, to be extremely strict in their sadhana. Yes. So never marry those who are not strict in their sadhana. Yes. And who are not very strict in their vows and in their values in their life. Yes, that means they're weak. Yes. Yes, so this is important. This is all tapas, that we understand what is ultimately beneficial. And all these tapas is based on faith. We already mentioned this. If we have no faith, we will not engage in anything. Yes, what to speak of some inconvenience, because tapas means inconvenience. If we don't have strong faith, we will not engage in it, because then we have faith in something else, because human being is a living being of faith. Even Krishna explains this in the beginning of the 17th chapter of Bhagavad-gītā. Yes. Sattvan rupa sarvasya shraddha bhavati bharata. Shraddhamayom purusho yor shraddha saivasa. He explains shraddha. Everyone, he's full of faith, but in different things. Therefore, also the path of bhakti begins with faith only. Ado shraddha is the beginning of our spiritual life. And these different stages of bhakti explain that Kanishta has weak faith, and Madhyama has strong faith, and Uttama has the most strong faith, the strongest faith. Yes, so we should acquire a strong faith, and strong faith can be acquired only in association of those who have strong faith. It's not possible to acquire in any other way. So we have to associate with people who have strong faith. This is not always possible in body, but we can associate at least in books with Srila Prabhupada, or hearing our spiritual master, hearing Srila Prabhupada lectures and other great souls, and reading our acharyas and Srila Prabhupada, of course. And by their faith, we'll get faith. I mentioned St. Francis of Assisi at the beginning. I received strong faith because of his faith. And he lived 700 years before me. Or even more, 750 or something. Yes. But because of association with the saint, I got some little faith in the beginning. Yes. So power of association. Therefore, it's glorified throughout scriptures, this association. Yes. Tulayama levina pina svarganna punarmaham. Bhagavat sangi sangasya martanam kimutashasha. We cannot give get anything from any other association than a devotee association. It's great soul association. Yes, we'll get faith to perform these austerities. And the next austerities are austerities of speech. Yes. Anudviga karam vakyam satyam priyam hitam chayat satyaya pyasanam cheva vanmayam tapojyate. Yes, and austerity of speech are again, very difficult. We should not disturb anyone with our words. Yes. It's very difficult not to disturb anyone, especially if we quarrel with someone. Then every word is disturbance. There was a book in Slovenian, a Slovenian book, and there was some very powerful personality. And he said, when I quarrel with someone, I purposefully say something that I enrage him, the other person, even more. Hare Krishna. Yes, this is the mentality. So yes, but Krishna says, austerity of speech is not to disturb anyone. And of course, for our words to be pleasing, should be pleasing and beneficial, and true. Maybe we want to be pleasing and say, yes, this sabji is really delicious, but we really hate it. Because we want our words to be pleasing and we don't want to disturb, but our words should be also true. So if we don't have proper words not to disturb others by telling the truth, you should rather be silent. We can say, yes, it was good, but we have in the mind good for my digestion, for example, or anything like this. We don't lie in this regard. Yes. Or sometimes telling lie is also telling truth. As for example, in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Lord Krishna demanded from Yudhishthira to say that Ashwatthama is dead. for Drona to put down his weapons. and Yudhishthira hesitated because he was famous of not telling a lie in his life. Yes. And therefore Yudhishthira was instructed to tell this, because then everyone would believe. Because they were so convinced that Yudhishthira will never tell a lie. Yes. And if someone wants to do some harm to some other people, we shouldn't tell the truth and enable this person to make harm others, because this truth is harmful, therefore is not satyam really. It's not really the absolute truth, it's harmful. So we should again go very deep in the essence. Never stay on the surface of anything. Go deep. Because if we stay on the surface, we'll never can go beyond this bodily conception, because bodily conception is superficial. Even philosophical bodily perspection is superficial. Yes. So we should therefore go beyond philosophical perception. We should go to devotional perception as a das, as an obedient. Again, I'm your obedient. Yes, this should be our mentality. I'm your obedient. Satyam priyam hitam jayat. Svadhyaya abhyasanam cheva. Yes, and study of Vedic scriptures. Although in itself it is mentioned in 16th chapter as a quality, separate quality, but this is included in tapa according to Krishna. svadhyaya, study of Vedic scriptures. Because if I don't study Vedic scriptures, whatever I speak will be detrimental for myself and for others. Yes. Will bring about death for others. Because my values will exhibit something that kills you. Yes, because if I don't go deep in my studies, then I believe in material life. And I convey my ideas, what will bring me happiness, because we want to be happy. As I just mentioned, we want to be superseded. And I teach everyone, in this way you will get happiness. And this is cheating. But I'm convinced that this will bring me happiness. But if I don't study very diligently, then I will misunderstand what is beneficial for me and for others. Yes. Therefore, everything that will come out of my mouth will be cheating of others. Therefore, sadhyaya is so important for austerity of speech. Yes. And it says abhyasana, svadhyaya abhyasana chiva. This abhyasa means practice. Krishna knows that we are not able maybe to perform these austerities just at the beginning on perfect level. Therefore he stresses abhyasa all the time. Practice, practice, practice. It's like military drill. Yes, practice. Because our conditioned nature is completely opposite, goes in the opposite direction to our spiritual desire. Yes. So we have to go against the current of our material conditionings, and therefore we need constant practice. As Krishna says in 12th chapter, Mayeva manādasva, mayi buddhi nivasishyasi mayeva atarutvam asamshara. Always think of me. Let your mind and intelligence and words dwell in me, and in such a case you will definitely attain me without doubt. You will live with me without doubt. But then he says, Atachetum samadatum nashuknoshi maistiram abhyasa yogana tatomami chaptum dhananjaya. But if you cannot fix your mind in such a samadhi, then engage in constant practice. Practice, practice, practice. Then you will attain the desire to attain me. And this desire is the key. Without desire, we will not achieve anything. Yes. It is mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita that there are three principal Shaktis of Krishna. It's Icha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, and Kriya Shakti. From Icha Shakti, desire potency, everything emanates. Yes. But immediately when you want to have something, when you want to manifest something, you have to have knowledge of it. Yes. Because without knowledge you cannot create anything. Yes. So if we want to create bhakti in our heart, if we strive for bhakti, if we strive to develop this love for Krishna, which is our goal, therefore we have to have knowledge of it. This is first thing. And Kriya Shakti, and we have to do something. And this doing something is practice. Therefore we are engaged in sadhana bhakti, constant practice, abhyasa. Therefore also these austerities should be meant only for Krishna's pleasure, not that I will attain this. Yes, I will engage in austerity I'll be austere. I will shower only in cold water, or I will keep complete fast on Ekadashis, even from water. If we have this mentality that I will achieve this, yes, then I don't perform it as a bhakti. And we should perform everything as a bhakti. Yes, I should have in mind this is what it's pleasing to Krishna. That my words are like this. That I don't defend. On Sunday we mentioned that we shouldn't defend if possible, even if we are accused of something we haven't done. That we don't defend. Yes, but if we don't embrace this mentality that I'm a servant, that yes, I don't defend because it's pleasing to Krishna, then it will just keep grudge in our heart, anger in our heart, and this not defending will kill us, will not help us in our spiritual journey. It will have the opposite effect because we will lack bhakti. Therefore, whatever we do, whatever austerities we do, we should do it as a service to Krishna. Because yes, it's pleasing to Krishna, I do it for his pleasure. Yes, all these austerities, if they're lacking this substance, then everything is useless. So this substance of bhakti, substance of love should be there. Because without love, everything is empty, it's useless. Dharmaksvanuštitah pumsam vishvaksena katasya notpadayet yadiratim shrama eva hi kevalam. This is explained in the very beginning of Bhagavatam, in the second chapter of the first canto. If whatever we do in our spiritual life, dharmaksvanuštitah pumsam vishvaksena katasya notpadayet yadiratim, if doesn't invoke bhakti in our heart, our ruchi for Krishna Katha, this means bhakti, it's shrama eva hi kevalam. Shrama means useless labor. And suppose this word shrama, useless labor, with some strong words. Eva means certainly is like this. It's shrama, it's useless labor. And he means also certainly, without doubt. Certainly is like this. Really, certainly is like this. And kevalam means only. Nothing else, only. Shrama eva hi kevalam, like Sutta Goswami would bang with his fist. Yes, nothing else than useless labor. From useless labor, what you get? No grain, but just blisters in your hands. It's just painful, with no result. Yes. In Slovene we have the expression that you beat the empty husk. Yes, because then you don't get grain, you just get empty straw. Empty straw. It's useless. Yes. So our austerity without bhakti is useless. Our kindness to others without bhakti is useless. Our compassion without bhakti is useless. Our non-violence without bhakti is useless. Whatever we do without bhakti is useless. Our bringing up children is useless. Our serving to our spiritual master without bhakti, or husband or wife or our children without bhakti is useless. It will just kill me and kill those who are dependent on me. It will kill my children. It will kill my relationship without bhakti. So everything should be done as an offering for Krishna. Otherwise it's useless. And it's harmful for myself and for others. Hare Krishna. Is there any question or comment or doubt? Yes, please.
Hare Krishna, thank you.
Hare Krishna.
I want to ask you the difference between being, I don't know how to explain, polished, our ego, but towards abuse from that one who is in the position of correcting us.
Sorry, I didn't understand. If
Usually we say that we have to polish our ego.
yes,
But it's okay this to come from abusing attitude towards us. How we can make the difference? Okay, I have to be humble. I have to polish my ego, but by abusing, I don't know.
yes. Thank you for this question. It's very important, and it's connected with this what we have spoken. If it is done without this desire to please Krishna, as an offering to Krishna, it's self-abuse then. Because we'll just suffer. Yes, it's proper for me to be humble, to not say anything, but actually in the heart we are not satisfied with this. And then we suffer. And then because of this suffering, inner suffering, we'll get sick. Yes. Or sometimes we'll explode and we'll do much damage to others because we suppressed these feelings in our heart for so long because of some proper behavior or something. Then the time will come that we'll just explode. Or we will implode. Either explode or implode. And implode means that we'll become completely sick. We'll not be able to do anything and we'll be depressed and we'll be unable to serve anything. Therefore, this cultivating of the mood of bhakti is so important. That everything I do, I don't do it for me to be proper in the eyes of others or even myself, but because it's pleasing for Krishna. And I don't do it because it's not pleasing for Krishna. And I do it as an offering. And if it really comes from my heart, this attitude, then it becomes a source of ecstasy. Therefore, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that this suffering that I endure in my devotional life is the source of my highest ecstasies. Because I know it's for the pleasure of my beloved. And it's explained by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur that these sufferings that I get in my devotional life are just like lover's bite. Lover's bite is hurting, isn't it? But it brings great pleasure, great enjoyment. So it may be hurting your ego or something, but if you take it as an offering for your beloved, and take it as the bite of your lover, then it becomes a source of pleasure. Yes, but if you don't take it like this, it will be a source of suffering.
And if it's coming from exterior, not from inside, sometimes, if it's coming from exterior, from another living entities or devotees,
Yes.
as an abuse, how
Tate kunukampam sasamikṣamano munjane vatma kritam vipakam hritvakva purvirvedadannamaste jiveto mukti padesa dharabhak. If we have this mentality of I'm obedient, then I will accept everything that comes to me as Krishna's mercy. As Krishna's mercy. But that doesn't mean if there is some really abusive relationship going on, and against the principles of bhakti, that means sinful. What is against the principles of bhakti is sinful. We should understand this. Then we should give up such a relationship. Yes. Then this is our duty for our beloved. Yes, it is explained in Shastra that for a wife, it's never allowed to give up her husband. But if husband is sinful, it is compulsory for her to give him up. Otherwise, he'll be the source of her fall down also. So any sinful relationship should be given up. We shouldn't allow to be caught up in some sinful relationship. But if it is not sinful, we should take it as Krishna's mercy. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Yes, please. Can you?
This is a question from Gita. Can I ask that?
Yes.
So, in the chapter 12 of Gita, first sloka, where Arjuna asks Lord Krishna that who is considered to be most perfect or most perfect form of worshipping you? Is it
A devotee?
devotional service, or
Yes.
is it impersonal Brahma?
Yes.
And to respond that, Lord Krishna says, those who fix their minds on my personal form and are always engaged in worshipping me with great and transcendental faith are considered by me to be most perfect.
Yes.
So my question here is, which is this my personal form? Which form is the my personal form of Lord Krishna?
He considers his devotee as most perfect, because his devotee is always fixed on Krishna's personal form, and he worships the Lord with all his heart, and he's fixed on the Lord.
So the personal form is this one of Lord Krishna that we see here?
Yes, Radha Krishna are the topmost forms of Krishna. Yes, Krishna from Vrindavan is Swayam Bhagavan. It is explained in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam that Lord appears in different forms for different purposes, and there are innumerable avatars or incarnations of the Lord appearing in this world, like waves of the river. Yes, you cannot count the waves of the river. They're never ending. But ete cham shakalak pumsam Krishnastu bhagayam svayam indrari vyakulam lokam vridayanti yuge yuge. That although these are all different Krishnas or God's forms, Krishnastu bhagayam svayam. Krishna is Bhagavan Swayam, the original personality of Godhead, from whom everything emanates. Also any other forms. And it is explained by Lord Brahma, who is the foremost personality in this universe. He says, Ishvarah Paramah Krishna Sarchetananda Vigraha Anadir Adri Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Krishna is Ishvara, is Supreme Personality. Parama is transcendental, is supreme. Ishvara Parama Krishna. Sarchitananda Vigraha. He is the embodiment of Sat, that means existence, eternality, of chit, of cognizance, of consciousness, of knowledge, and ananda, of all bliss, of all pleasure. Yes, his embodiment of these. His embodied bliss. Yes, and his another adir is without the beginning, and he's the origin of everything. Sarva karana karanam. He's the cause of every other cause. Yes, original cause. So, and Krishna also explains in 7th chapter of Bhagavad-gītā, he says, Mattah parataram nanyat kinchit aste delanjaya mayi sarvam idam pratam sutrima niganayava. That nothing is higher than me. Mattah parataram nanyat. Na anyat. Anya means other. Na anyat, nothing other is greater than me. Everything is thread on me, like pearls on the thread. So everything exists on me like pearls on thread. Yes. Hare Krishna. Anything else? You wanted to ask something?
Hare Krishna, thank you very much for that share. I mean, we are brought up quite conditioned here in the West, so just maybe you have advice how to develop that service attitude, like what are good things, like association with devotees, acquiring more knowledge, and do you have any suggestions what to do?
Yes. First, we have to acquire proper knowledge, jnana. As we said, if we have Icha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti. If you have Icha, desire for something, you have to know how to achieve it. And to know what you want to achieve. And then you should engage in practice. And practice is to hear. This is first practice. To hear from great personalities. And reading is also hearing. Yes. And then we will realize this is really important, because every proper source will emphasize this. Even Lord Jesus Christ emphasized this. Those who are the lowest amongst you, who are servants of everyone, will be the highest in the eyes of the Lord. Yes. So, and our scriptures are full of this idea, how we have to be servants of the servant of the servant. Again and again and again. How we have to be more humble than a blade of grass. Again and again and again. So, if we constantly hear this, then we will start to believe it. And this faith is crucial to do anything, as we said. So this constant hearing is also keeping association of saintly personalities. Yes, and if possible, to serve great personalities as much as possible. Yes, by service, Krishna is pleased, as we said, that this simplicity, to be a servant, to engage in menial services also. Yes, like reading, like mopping the floor, anything like this. With not, yes, this is good, I'll do it. No, we should take it again as service for my beloved, as a bhakti. If we miss this bhakti component in anything, will turn against us, against our interest. Yes. So everything should be accompanied with bhakti, with conscious bhakti. Therefore, this Krishna consciousness movement, it's not about your activity, it's about your consciousness. It's not even Krishna worship movement. Although we worship Krishna, but it's Krishna consciousness movement. Because if our consciousness is not present when we worship Krishna, also our worship, it's useless. It's like pouring ghee in the ashes. Yes. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for your attention. Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaura Pramanande.